Hello everybody once again, this is AikawaKazu. Welcome back to another Black Desert Online video. Today I'll be sharing with you my thoughts on Black Desert Online Southeast Asia after over 3 months of playing it, and maybe after you hear my thoughts on the game, you'll also be interested in trying out yourself. So to be clear from the start, this is actually a sponsored video whereby I was contacted recently to share the joy of Black Desert Online with my audience, which is you guys. And the timing couldn't be more right since Awakening for all 12 classes have been released since last Thursday. So for those who are watching right now and you've been waiting for Awakening to be released, they are now all released, so wait no further. Anyway, let's get to why I'm enjoying Black Desert Online, for over the past 3 months so far. Okay, to quote Jae Hee Kim, the executive producer for development for Black Desert Online, he mentioned that if he had to describe BDO in 4 words, he will use MMORPG, combat, live, and open world. And this will be the 4 main things that I'll be talking about in this video, starting with combat. Alright, so if you do not know by now, BDO is an action combat system whereby you do not actually use tap targeting system like many MMOs out there. So action combat basically means that you have free targeting. You use WASD to move your character around. Alright, and just to show you guys what keys I'm pressing, I'm going to turn it on here. You can see at the top left corner. And Black Desert Online has one of the best, if not the best, action combat system out right now for an open world MMORPG. So what's really cool about BDO is that in a lot of action combat games, you use a lot of hotkey slots or quick slots to activate your skills, right? So but in BDO, you actually use unique key presses to activate skills. For example, if I use shift and left click here, I use grave digging, right? Very cool. And then if I use shift and right click, I use slashing of the dead. And for your class, there is no 2 skills that use the same key presses. So if I want to dash forward here, shift and W, you can see another this is a witch, I believe, that's practicing her skills here in this battle arena. So that's one really good thing, because in many action combat games you have many skills, right? And you have to assign each skill to a hotkey slot, WASD, ERT, FG, H, CVB, which is basically close to a WASD, so that you can actually activate those skills easily. Now if you can activate skills by unique key presses combinations such as shift and left click, W and right click, for example shift and W to dash forward, shift and S to move backwards, you realize that you do not need a lot of quick slots. So all you need to do right now instead is to memorize what skills uses what key presses to be activated. Right? And that allows you to create a lot more combinations and are no longer restricted to the number of key presses on your keyboard. Also not limited to having a lot of quick slots on your screen. So you only have like I have 1 bar over here, and then some of these things are just consumables and items instead of actually skills. In fact, most of my skills are not in my hotkey bar. So that's BDO combat. That's quite nice here when it comes to unique key presses. Right now with Awakening, you also have something very cool, which is your Awakening weapon for the Warrior, which is the class that I'm in. You have the Great Sword. If you go back into your pre-Awakening form, you have your Sword and Shield. So with the new Awakening weapon here, you have a new set of skills. And one of the very cool thing about Awakening right now is that to be a master, to differentiate yourself from another person of the same class, for Warrior especially, one is to learn to switch between pre-Awakening like this and Awakening like this. So if you can actually master both sides, pre-Awakening and Awakening skills, and know how to combine them together to create unique combos, you can then be able to unleash some really sick combos in Black Desert Online with the Warrior, and that applies to most, if not all, of the other classes as well. And there are 12 classes released right now in Southeast Asia, and I believe in the future it'll be up to 16, and I believe there's one in Korea, which is I believe Elf Ranger, like a great longbow type for the Awakening weapon that's coming out soon. Don't quote me for it, it might be up for changes. But basically many classes that you can choose, and you can definitely find one that will definitely suit your playstyle. So what else is cool about BDO action combat, right? So I would say that in this game you also have invincibility frames, or iframes for short. So when I'm doing this dash left and right, you can read in the skill description over here, it's called Hate Chase. You're invincible upon using skill, and effect is nullified during cooldown, right? So you do have iframes and use it off cooldown, and the cooldown for this skill is 2 seconds, right? So that's iframes. You also have what we call super armor, Alright. So if you do not know the terms, I'll explain it very, very soon. So invincibility frames is basically frames in your skills whereby you're invulnerable. That means people can't actually do anything to you, even though there's something they can do to you, which I'll explain to you. Super armor is basically how people, like, you know, in this game you have different status effects, or I would say crowd control, right? You have floating attack, you can see that's air attack here. You have what we call a grab, like this, which can't work because this is actually like a NPC type enemy. You have stiffen as well, something like this. You see that the character is like, you know, leaning backwards, right? You also have stun, something like this. Yep, you can see the head is spinning, right? So there are different status effects or crowd control effects in this game, and if you do not have super armor up, people can actually do those crowd control effects onto you, right? So if you don't want those things to happen to you, you need to use skills with super armor like this one and this one, so that you don't actually get your skills cancelled. And this is very important for an action combat game, because you'll play some games whereby if they don't have such mechanics like iframes and super armor, that even if the skills are very flashy, even if the skills are really nice, you can't actually execute them in PvP, because any random skill will be able to cancel the skills that you're doing. So knowing again how to utilize the skills that have super armor, because not all skills have super armor and not all skills can land status effects, that there's a level of skill in play here in Black Desert Online when it comes to the action combat as well. So if you combine everything that I mentioned, you know, to use pre-awakening skills, to switch between awakening to pre-awakening, to know what skills to press, and to know in what sequence and combination that you need to do, you can actually do something like this. Grab the guy, change back to my awakening weapon, and very nice combination play, as you can see there. And that is not something that you can do on the first day that you play. You need to understand how your skills works, because there are certain things in this game is what we call animation cancel. For example, if I use a reckless blow, which is activated with left and right mouse button, or left click and right click, I can cancel it with F like this, and to lead on into another skill like this, right? There are also skills in the pre-awakening form for warrior like this, ground smash, cancel into spinning slash, right? So many degrees and many angles and many depth in the combat system in Black Desert Online, which is why I would say that it's one of the best, if not the best, action MMORPG combat mechanic system available right now. And there are so many different classes that you can choose from, 12 right now, 16 in the near future, and even more in the far future, because they're still coming out with new classes, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so enough about combat, right? Short and sweet. If you enjoy action combat, if you enjoy being able to, you know, utilize status effects, right, and, you know, perform daily combos with the classes that you play, then this is definitely a great game that you want to play. Okay, so moving on to the next part of the 4, you know, things that you mentioned. So that was combat, right? So now let's move on to live, the live part of the game. Okay, to keep it short, right, if you actually go into my character information, when I press P like this, you can see that there's professions, and professions are actually called life skills. And I think they're very nice here, because many people who play traditional or conventional MMOs, they are more, you know, attuned to the word professions, right, because of how many MMOs have called them professions. But in this game, it's called life skills. I would say that on hindsight, maybe because you need to dedicate your life to it, actually you don't need to, but my point here is there are many different life skills that you can have in this game: gathering, processing, cooking, alchemy, training, fishing, hunting, trading, and farming. And in the future, I believe there's a sailing life skill as well. Basically, I think how well you sail your boat. I don't think that's the case, because in the future there's actually sea monster hunting, so I'm guessing that it has to do with that more than just sailing around. But in any case, what is so special about life skills in Black Desert Online? So what the thing that interests me the most for life skills in video is how it actually is interconnected with every mechanism or fundamental things in the game, like the economy, like how people play. Let me use cooking for an example here. So for cooks, they can actually make meals, and you can see Balanos meals here, gives you movement speed, fishing speed, gathering speed, right? If you look at the night combat ration here, it gives all AP plus 5, which I believe is attack power plus 5, which is more damage, extra damage against humans. A world boss just spawned, something to look forward to in this game as well. Very nice. I'm not going because I got my boss gear, but we'll not be talking about world boss in this video, right? Because that is just the icing on the cake. In any case, all damage reduction plus 5. So meals, which is only made by cooks, right? People who commit themselves to the cooking life skill, right? Because you can see, you can only make this if our cooking level is skill 6 or up. That means you need to level your cooking skill up to be able to cook the night combat ration and to cook meals in this game, right? So you can actually sell these food to make money. So how does this work, right? When I talk about the interconnectedness between players. So if you like to grind, you know, like your usual way of your traditional way in progressing in MMOs, which is something that you can do in BDO as well. You know, you go grind, you go get silver, you go get loot, you sell those loot for silver. You then use those silver that you earn to buy meals, because you don't want to spend time to commit into cooking, to cook your own meals, right? So you spend silver to buy the meals. So the cooks themselves can then make the meals and earn your silver, and that means that they don't need to spend all their time grinding. You see where this is going? That means that you don't actually have to approach playing Black Desert Online in just a one-pronged way. That means that you don't have to just grind, get gear, get money, buy your gear, or you know, earn your own gear, enhance your own gear, and progress. You can actually do life skills and get the grinders to buy your money. So if I want to grind, I don't make food, I buy the food. I don't want to grind, I make food, people buy my food, I make money, I then use my money to go to the marketplace, and then I can buy the gear that I want. This is what I mean by how the life skillers and the grinders all have this interconnectedness together. They are all dependent on each other, and if you want to play the game like me, which is an all-rounded approach, you can see I'm 8th in gathering, 18th in cooking, 8th in alchemy, processing 18th, growth 7, that means I'm a grinder as well. And in Raid Battlefield, this is a PvP mode here, I'm 20th as well. That means I PvP, I grind, I cook, I do alchemy, I do processing, I do gathering, I don't do fishing, I don't do trading, I don't do much of farming as well. So I'm not doing everything, but I'm approaching a game in a very wholesome way. That is also good as well, and of course that is a great way to approach the game if you do not want to be like, you know, some people don't like to grind 5 to 10 hours. Maybe you can grind 2 hours, you spend 2 hours on life skills, and then you can earn money from grinding. You can also earn money from cooking or alchemy or any other life skills in the game. And that's really, really cool, because in this game, which I'll talk about later on when we talk about the MMO side, right? You can really approach the game in many, many different ways. And I believe if you don't like to grind a lot in the game, even though you still have to, because you still need to do that to level, even though you still get EXP while doing life skills, the best way or the most effective way to level up is still by killing or grinding monsters. So don't get me wrong, you still need to go out there and grind a little bit, but if you don't want to grind, you can also do life skills to progress in the game, which is something that's really, really cool, and how it intertwines together in the game. It's something that I really, really enjoy in this game, which is a very, very good life skill system. Okay, moving on to the next part, which is the open world. So we'll talk about PvP, we'll talk about the MMORPG part later on. So let's talk about open world. So in BDO, right, this game looks amazing. My character looks amazing. Your character can look amazing, and the world can look amazing as well. You'll see on screen some of my screenshots, some of the screenshots that I took, some of my memories that I had as I'm moving around the world. And you can see this actually looks a little bit like Singapore. At its current content state that our Southeast Asia game is being released, this actually looks a little bit like Singapore. I'm from Singapore, I'm a Singaporean. But in any case, the world is pretty huge right now, and you will definitely be able to see some really, really nice scenery, some very, very nice memories, some very, very nice things in the game. You know, the city, the towns feel very lively, like Calphion. There are protesters in there. Valia is like a very, very chill fishing town with farmers. Hado is like a mix of here and there, but it's surrounded by a river. And then you go on to Altinova, where you know things start to look a little bit grim. And in the future, we have Valencia as well. And then later on, I think south there'll be more things as well. Valencia is like a desert, so there'll be more worlds, more scenes, more open worlds to the game that you can explore. And one very, very cool thing about this game is that there is no fast travel, which is kind of a bad or good thing depending on what kind of person you are. Some people have no time, they really missed, or they are very attuned to having fast travel, teleporting between cities. But in BDO, the open world, which is one of the main, one of the four words that Kim Jae-hee has mentioned to describe BDO, is that because you don't have fast travel, you don't have teleportation, you have horses in the game, you can run in the game, you can do like a mobility skill like this, to actually travel around very, very quickly. And that makes the immersion really, really there, because you know that there's a time consequence. For example, if you grind for 4 hours and you want to travel between, like, let's say you are grinding in South Sun's garrison and you want to go back to your town, you can actually auto path your way back, you can see. And then you can press T, your character will move by itself. And that's really nice because sometimes when you're able to teleport between cities, right, you realize that you don't take a break. If with a snap of a finger, I can teleport to where I want to grind in the game right now, that means that I wouldn't take breaks. I'll be stuck onto my chair. I wouldn't actually get up and move, right? But if I know that now I'm done grinding, for example, and I want to travel from South Sun's Garrison to Hado, which could be my main town, my main base that I choose to be at, right? I can then auto path, and then I can go to the toilet, right? I press T, my character, look at that, it's just running on its own, right? You can't do that now because I'm in the battle arena. It's a area for people to practice their PvP and stuff. But in any case, the nature of the game, because there's no fast travel, you do appreciate the world, right? It also allows you to take breaks, you know, that's the more practical thing that I can share. And let's say when you're playing the game, because this is a PvPvE game, that means people can actually turn on, they can flag you, that means that they can player kill you or PK you, right? That let's say if you're fighting at South Sun's Garrison, someone wants to contest your grinding spot, you manage to beat him, right? And he's like, I'm not happy, I want to call more friends. His friend then needs to travel from Hado, for example, all the way there to fight you. Which means whenever you meet people like this, you know that they have traveled a certain distance. That means they're really unhappy with you, and maybe you can be happy about it that they have to they have to spend such a big effort because they are not able to defeat you, right? Similarly, if you are training in Kuwait Islands, which is the Pirate Islands here, which is a very contested grinding spot as well, that if someone wants to get to the Pirate Island, look, they have to get a boat, they have to sail all the way, which is, by the way, around 10 to 15 minutes of sailing time just to get there to, you know, maybe kill you, right? And then if they don't want to grind here and they have stuff to do in town, they have to sail all the way back. So the open worldness of the game is now so much more immersive. It makes so much more sense, and it has so much more impact, you know, when you don't actually have instant travel and teleportation in the game. That's one thing that I really like about the game, but some people might not like it. Depends on how open-minded you are. But the open world in this game is really, really nice. In the future, there'll be sea monsters, you know, you can hunt sea monsters outside with a ship. There's desert, there's some outlaw system, there's some town for raid players, there's some bounty system going on as well. A lot of interesting things that'll be added on into the game later on that make the open world part of the game really, really feel open world. They're not just places that you can, you know, with a snap of a finger get to the area. You have to spend time to get there. You need to go train a horse. You need to breed horses to get there, which is also another life skill under training as well. But yeah, the open world of BDO is amazing, which brings us to the next point, right, which is the MMORPG part of the game. So MMORPG, the first three alphabets, massive multiplayer online. So massive multiplayer. So when we talk about massive multiplayer in BDO, we're talking about large-scale PvP. We're talking about Nodewar. We're talking about Guild Wars. We're talking about Conquest Siege, where people actually have to fight over the ownership of a castle. You can see after you own a castle, you can put something very funny as your guild emblem, and then you can put your friend's face there. Over here, you have I believe Empire with a nice scary-looking face. In Valia, we have, where's the thing? We have Burger King, which is like a parody of Burger King, I guess. And then finally in Calpheon, we have Instinct, very cool looking, you know, wolf photo, black and white. So Conquest Sieges and large-scale PvP are really, really nice in this game, and of course they have a purpose. If you take over a castle, if you take over a node, you get silver in terms through what we call tax payouts, and you can distribute them of your guild members, or you can use the funds that you get to fund your war efforts in the next siege and the next node war. But if you're not a fan of large-scale PvP, there's also something called Raid Battlefield. Yep, this one, which was what I was talking about earlier on, which is what I do because I'm in a small guild and I only do tier 1 node wars. There's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and obviously the higher tiers mean that you get more tax payout. It means that more or larger guilds will be contesting, you know, those nodes, right? So I try to contest tier 1 nodes. With some success, not all the time. But Raid Battlefield is something that you can also do, and I'm ranked 17 right now. If you look at the Raid Battlefield right now, it's because it's 5 AM in the morning. By the way, when I'm recording this video, there's only 4 people right now because most players are actually asleep. But you can find like 20 versus 20, no, 60, not 60, like 60 players, 30 versus 30 sometimes. Usually it's about 15 versus 15, 20 versus 20. And it's really, really fun, small scale, medium scale PvP that you can just go there and, you know, put the combos that you practice in the battle arena into use.
Go down is 100%, you know.
look at me, Cupid, what's up? Huh? One man against 10个! And that's something that you can definitely look forward to when it comes to the massive multiplayer part of the game. And yeah, I think PvP is really interesting if you're into it, but if you're not into it, you're also into, you know, small scale PvP. When you're, as I mentioned just now, when you're grinding, there will be people that will contest you. You have those drama, you know, if you're into the dramas, if you're into the politics, if you're into the fun, and you know, owning a castle, then yeah, I think that part is very interesting. But personally for me, I enjoy being in a small guild, closely knitted family. But the advantages of being in a guild, a good large guild that's going around, you know, taking over nodes and also taking over castles, is also very, very interesting that, you know, you might want to dive in Black Desert Online. Okay, so now to the final two parts of this video, which is not part of the 4 words that is mentioned by the executive producer for development. For me personally, the most important takeaway of video is the lessons, live lessons that you can learn from Black Desert Online. You know, in my stream, we have what we call learning with Kazu, right? Which is basically learning with Kazu, alright? And there are many live lessons that you can learn from Black Desert Online because of how the nature of the game is. Alright, so in this game, you have something called fail stacking. Every time when you fail an enhancement, you get +1 to your fail stack. Sometimes you get +3, sometimes you get +2. Later on, you get +4 or +5, depending on the tier. The higher the tier of your enhancement per se, the more fail stacks you get. So there's this saying in this game is that you cannot succeed unless you fail in this game, and that is never more true in this game as well, because you have to go up to like 100 fail stacks if you want to go to what we call the end game status or the end game state of your equipment, which is what we call pen. Here comes the durability option. Alright, 20. 1 fail, 2 fail. Nothing to lose, guys, but the stream's over. My friends, 89 fail stacks, Zaka. Failed 3 times. We have come a long way, chat. We have retried this weapon at 44, 48, 49, and 54 fail stacks. Everyone gets a try at 37 to 39, but no, Kazu gets it at 44, 48, 49, and 54. Now, at 79 plus 10, with now left or fallen, by the way, that's reversed, by the way, saw the anagram straight away. F-A-L-L-E-N, failing is Zaka. Short sword, we will now go ahead and bring some positivity to the world! Yes! Woo! We got it! So just to give you guys a brief idea, so you can see there's 2 lines, which is 2, right? 3 is 3, which is called try. 2 is dual. Pry is 1, and of course the 0 is just 0, right? And then tat is 4, and then finally pen is the V sign, which is 5. Alright, so for armors and equipments, you can go from 0 to 15, then you go pry, dual, try, tat, which is what I have here, and then finally pen. Right? For accessories, you just pry, dual, try, tat, and pen. And it's not easy to do these enhancements because you have to do them at a certain, what we call fail stack. So just to give you an example here, you can see that this character has a +39 enhancement chance, which is basically 39 FS in short, or fail stack. So when you want to do, for example, you want to go from dual to try for an accessory, you have to use around 35 to 44 fail stacks, which is data that people have accumulated over how long this game has been out. So people will tell you to do around 35 to 44, and the thing is, you will still fail, right? To get a try Mark of Shadow, for me personally here, I did what we call maximum fail stack, and I failed 3 times before I actually got 1. And look, the price of a try Mark of Shadow is 372 million, right? A dual is 137 million. So when I try to go from dual to try and it fails, I lose 137 million in the game. And every time when I fail, I lose that potential amount because I lose an item that is worth at an amount that can be sold in the marketplace that people will actually buy at a very, very high chance. In fact, people definitely buy it. So what happens here is that you have to fail to pass in this game, and you have to fail many times to be able to progress and succeed to a state whereby you'll be happy in this game. Which means that many people have actually given up in this game because they cannot actually take that system. But the way I look at the system is that In other games, when you play, when you do enhancement, it is just how many clicks you can do and whether you have enough materials or gold. That means you don't have anything strategic that you can do to make your chance better. But in this game, you know, as I mentioned, at a certain tier, at a certain level, for example, duo to try, you try to get 35 to 44 fail stacks for blue grade equipment, for example, and the number changes depending on the rarity or the grade of the equipment that you have. But that means that there's a strategy to it. You can prepare for it. For example, that's why we have what we call fail stacks characters, right? Which you save. Look, I have a 37 that I've prepared over here and I have a 39 over here that I can use to try and enhance an accessory or any other item in the game that requires that around that level of fail stacks. Now my point here is that you're going to make a lot of life lessons in this game, and one of them is that you have to fail to succeed, and that is something that I think will be very, very useful in real life. And there are many other lessons that you can learn, you know, from your life skilling, from your progress in the game, be it some social skills, be it some, you know, EQ skills that you can learn. You know, if you're in a guild, you need to communicate with people, you make friends, you meet people. If you are doing life skills to make monies, you then, you know, my friends, they make an Excel sheet to keep track of all the marketplace materials that they are trying to buy or process, and they will do some math. I'll put on screen here and you know what I mean. And yeah, they always change those values and they enjoy doing that. And yeah, you learn so many things from playing this game. It's like it's a second life. So life lessons from video is really nice, because not every game actually is built to be so in-depth such that you can apply real life skills into the game, and then from the things you learn in game you can then apply in real life as well. So that's something that I really want to emphasize in this game that I've actually found was very useful, because there are some people, they are very stubborn and they learn the hard way in this game. Like they will just fail everything that they have and then have to start from scratch all over again, and that's a painful lesson because they have chose to make that decision when they could have stopped when they failed one of their equipment instead of going for all of the equipment. Yeah, RNG, it can be a temptation sometimes and can be a trap, and you'll be able to learn, just like me. I've learned my own lessons when I'm enhancing my gears in this game the hard way as well, that you'll then make the right decisions. And you'll be like me, you'll be preaching, you know, you'll be telling people to be patient, you'll tell people to make sure that they always have a backup, and yeah, share the lessons that I've learned in video. And I think that's one takeaway that this game has for me so far. So last but not the least, something that I really want to share, especially as of late, is that Pro Abyss is the one that is directly publishing Black Desert Online Southeast Asia, and I have to say that they have been doing a really good job so far. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, so they recently posted a post, which is why I even know the name of the executive producer of development for BDO, right? And let me just show you real quick over here on screen, and it will look a bit weird for now, but okay, we'll be fine. There we go. So we would like to start off with a sincere apology to many adventurers who may have experienced confusion from the abrupt changes to gameplay due to the latest class balance adjustments and the introduction of the renowned score system. So this thing is for another video, I guess, if you guys really want me to talk about it. In any case, it is very rare for Korean developers who have like a, I would say, a stranglehold, but they are the only ones that are still making quote-unquote good MMORPGs out there, and games that people are still playing. That because they have done so for the past 10 to 20 years, that many Korean developers out there are actually pretty stubborn and they do not ever apologize. And what's the most important thing here is that they walk the talk, right? So you don't see Korean developers apologize. I just want to put it out there, right? The second thing is that they walk the talk, and they gave the compensation that is very expensive. A 30-day 5 buffs in the game. This Karma's Field Blessing, this is worth 30 USD for 30 days, by the way. So the entire buff applied here, which by the way is also applied to people for you who are new, who might be playing after watching this video, right? For new adventurers who newly join our game, they will be able to enjoy the extra buff until 21st May, right? So they still can enjoy as well if you're new. And these things basically worth like 50 to 60 USD, or I would say at least 40 to 50 USD, right? So they walk the talk, and Korean developers are not known to come out and apologize. So that's just like a one-off thing. So the other thing about, well, I'll not say it's one-off thing, I'm just saying that it's a thing that they have done right, and it's not just thing that they have done right? So far, when it comes to maintenance, when it comes to fixing problems in the game, they have always been very prompt. For example, just yesterday on Saturday, right? When you watch this video, it will be Monday, but on Saturday, right, they actually had a maintenance on a weekend to fix the stiffen, one of the debuff changes that they had, and they had a maintenance for it on a Saturday. And that is something that is really, really cool. And that's not just a one-off incident because of this little article that you see. In the last 3 months, there have been many, many minor like problems, bug fixes that they had to do, and they'll always happen the next day. So to add on to that, they never had an extended maintenance so far. Alright, I don't want to jinx it, but so far so good. No extended maintenance so far. And you laugh about it, but it is really sad in Southeast Asia region whereby you cannot actually find a publisher of a game that does not have this maintenance extending problem. I would say that you actually cannot find it in the last 5 years, if not 10 years. But PA, being the publisher and the developer of Black Desert Online so far, have done a really good job so far. And the most important thing that I think that they have done right so far, not just for Southeast Asia, is how the vision that they have for Black Desert Online so far, when it comes to update, is really, really, really cool. Because they have mentioned that they want all the regions that Black Desert Online is available in to catch up when it comes to the quality of life update. So the renowned score system, which was implemented in Korea and NA, is also implemented in all the other Black Desert Online regions and services, including Southeast Asia. And in terms of quality of life updates like this new UI, which you can also switch if you want to the old UI, like this is the old UI, right? And in fact, NA and EU got this 1 to 2 weeks later than Southeast Asia, when Southeast Asia Black Desert Online was first released. But in any case, all the regions have caught up in terms of the quality of life updates, and in terms of the fundamental mechanical changes, in terms of the class balancing changes in the game. PA has mentioned that they want all the regions to have the same thing. If you don't understand how important this is, let me give you guys an idea. In many other Korean MMORPGs, for example, Korea will always get the very nice quality of life update, the very nice skill balancing changes, the very nice things that needs to be fixed in the game. And then for regions outside of Korea, we always have to wait a few months, we have to wait a few years, we have to wait so long just to get something that actually essentially fixed the game. And Korean developers back then, or in those games, don't realize that when they don't fix those problems, those fundamental problems in their game, which includes quality of life updates in the game, you know, that they are bleeding players, that players are stopping to play the game because of how they are not implementing these changes that they have already done in their Korean version or their local version into the foreign versions as soon as possible. But PA, Pro Abyss, has seen that that is important, and they want all the regions of Black Desert Online to have the same quality of life updates, to have the same mechanical fundamental changes in the game. And that is something that's really good, and that's something that I really want to point out, that many other Korean developers, if not international publishers or developers of games around the world, should follow, because this cannot be emphasized enough. And that's something that I think is a huge plus point when it comes to playing Black Desert Online Southeast Asia, that is released like 2 years or 3 years after the Korean version is out, and 1 year to close to 2 years after the NAU version is out. We are like behind, right? But in terms of quality of life updates, in terms of the fundamental things in the game that Korea has, we have them as well. Because those problems or those changes that make to the Korean version, they are done to fix some inherent issues that are deeply rooted in the game. And they are also implemented in our version, even though in terms of content, in terms of the number of classes that we have right now, 12 versus 16 that's released in Korea and NEU, or rather in Korea, 16 in Korea, because NEU doesn't have LAN yet, which is like the latest class. My point here is, we are caught up in the things that were problematic back then, and that is really important. I think that's about it for this video. For those who didn't catch in the first 30 seconds of the video, this is actually a sponsored video. So if you want to help me and help the people that, you know, contacted me to tell you more about Black Desert Online, to share with you the joy and love to have of Black Desert Online, there's a tracking link below in the description. Click on that if you want to find out more about Black Desert Online, and that will tell the people that connected me that, hey, you came to know about Black Desert Online through me, and that will help me out. Alright, I don't get any extra money or anything if you click the link, so that's not my point of telling you to click the link. It's just for them to know that, you know, I did a good job, I guess. It's like a report card, you know what I'm trying to say? In any case, my name is AikawaKazu. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos, and if you're new to the game, I have done a bunch of videos over Black Desert Online as well. You can check those out. I stream every day on twitch.tv/KazuAikawa from GMT plus 8, 7 PM or 7 PM GMT plus 8 onwards every single day. If you want to join my stream, if you want to join my community, again, links in the description below, including my Discord community as well. But yeah, name is AikawaKazu. Thanks for watching once again. God bless, and I'll see you guys and girls in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.